The sky above Station K-92 was never supposed to be red. It was built over a calm blue gas giant, a safe place, far from the front lines, a neutral zone, a place of peace. 27 different alien species had signed the treaty here. This station had been the symbol of the Galactic Alliance. But now, as Captain Marin's ship dropped out of warp, the view was anything but peaceful. Fires burned across the orbital station. Its giant rings once full of lights, gardens, and embassies were broken. Chunks of metal floated in silence. Life signs were almost zero in the sky. The sky had turned red from the burning wreckage. Marin stood on the bridge of the HSV Solar Wrath, her jaw tight. The crew behind her stayed, silent, staring at the display. No one expected this. "Where's the distress beacon?" she asked. Her officer replied, voice low, still active, but "It's fake." Same signal repeated, no response. Marin's eyes narrowed. The message was playing on a loop, a perfect bait. They wanted someone to come. The station that shouldn't have fallen Marin had been sent with a small team to assist after reports of minor damage at station K-92. Just another boring support mission, they said. Bring supplies. Check communications. Turn home. But now, the truth floated before them like a dead god. K-92 was not damaged. It was destroyed, and there was no battle report. No defense logs. No survivors calling for help. The silence was the most terrifying part. "Launch a scout pod," Marin ordered. "Let's see what really happened." Within minutes, a drone flew across the ruined station. Cameras scanned the outer decks, broken domes, and shattered hangars. Bodies floated in the halls, both alien and human. "Play back the last recording," she said. The screen blinked, then it started. The message from a dying Friend-day human diplomat appeared on the screen, his face pale and bleeding. He was hiding behind a desk, whispering into a wrist communicator. His voice shook. "This is Ambassador Lorne. If anyone gets this, listen carefully. They planned this. The Trell, the Xanthari, the Elysians, all of them. This was no accident. It was a strike, a betrayal." Behind him, the wall exploded. The screen cracked. He said we were growing too fast. That Earth was too ambitious. They gunfire, screams. The video ended. Marin's bridge went quiet again. Her hands tightened into fists. A fleet that trusted too much for years, Earth had worked hard to be accepted by the older species of the galaxy. The Galactic Alliance had rules, strict ones. Earth followed them all. They shared technology, sent fleets to protect neutral zones, offered their best scientists, diplomats, and soldiers. In return, they got a seat at the table, or so they thought. Marin had believed. In the Alliance, her own brother had died during a rescue mission for a Xanthari colony. She remembered writing a letter to his children, telling them his sacrifice meant peace. Now, looking at the broken station, she felt that peace had been a lie. "They waited until we trusted them," Marin said coldly. Then they struck. Clues. In the wreckage, the scout pod returned with something strange. A metal case hidden deep in the ambassador's quarters. It survived the blast. Inside were files. Physical copies, not digital. Smart Martin opened the documents one by one. They weren't reports. They were plans. Diagrams of human colonies, timelines for economic sabotage, charts showing how to isolate Earth's fleet from major supply routes, and one folder titled Operation Cinderleaf, Final Human Removal Protocol. It had signatures, 3 of them each from a major leader of the so-called core races. The betrayal wasn't just political, it was deliberate genocide. A decision forged in fire. Marin stepped into the war room of her ship. Around her, holograms of Earth's remaining fleet locations blinked. Many were still close to Alliance borders. She tapped a screen. A red circle appeared around several Earth colonies. Too close. Too exposed? They'll be hit next, she said. We need to warn them. Reroute supply lines. Bring everyone home. But Command might ask us to stand down, said her XO. a grizzled older officer named Kylan. We don't have proof. Yet Marin turned slowly. Didn't you see the station? The ambassador? The files I did? Kylan said. Still believes in diplomacy. Marin's eyes burned. Then they're already dead. The moment everything changed, that night Moran recorded a private message to Earth's military high council. She sent everything, the files, the ambassador's final message, and her own report. Then she deleted the command codes from her ship's central AI. She gave control to her own hands. From this moment forward, she told her crew, the Solar, Wrath no longer answers to the Alliance. We answer to Earth, and Earth has been betrayed. The crew didn't cheer. They didn't clap. They simply stood in silence. Every one of them knew what came next. The first strike. The Solar Wrath fired. Its first shot, less than an hour later. They found a small Xanthari listening post hiding behind a moon. Relaying signals back to the enemy fleets, it had no weapons. Marin destroyed it. Anyway, it wasn't about tactics, it was about sending a message. You started this. Now we know the skies turned red again as they left the shattered moon. The crew stood. On the viewing deck, behind them, the stars glowed as usual. But in front of them, the gas giant still burned. The wreckage of Station K-92 was drifting slowly into the planet's upper atmosphere. Flames licked across its metal skin. It would fall soon. Marin stared at it for a long time. Then she whispered, more to herself than anyone, "You lit the sky red. Now we'll light up everything you've ever built." The screen behind her flickered. A warning appeared. Incoming Alliance message. Marin didn't even look at it. Mute it. We're done listening. And the ship jumped to warp, disappearing into the void headed straight for the nearest enemy-controlled system. The moon was dead. No atmosphere. No heat. No life. But deep under its icy crust, inside a hidden Earth facility long believed abandoned, something was still active. Captain Marin stood in the cold control chamber of Outpost Eco 7. Watching the lights flicker on, old Earth banners hung torn from the walls. Dust covered the consoles. Everything was silent until now. The signal had come from here, not a distress call. Data pulse, encoded in an Earth's military format that hadn't been used in 10 years. The room's AI rebooted, its voice tired but steady. "Welcome back. Final protocol engaged. You are late." Marin frowned. "Late for what?" The AI didn't answer. Instead, it opened a file, and the war truly began. The treaty that should never exist. Marin stared at the hologram now floating in the air. It was a document long, marked in 5 different languages, and stamped with seals from the highest alien governments. She knew them all: the Trell Dominion, the Xanthari Pact, and the Elysian Council. The 3 most powerful species in the galaxy. Once called Earth's closest allies. Now, they were murderers. The treaty was titled Project Dimming, Peace Through. Controlled collapse of the human expansion beneath it were the worst words Marin had ever read. Goal: avoid galactic war. By neutralizing Earth's future potential through covert operations, destabilization, and eventual replacement of Terran leadership. Collateral loss acceptable. She felt the blood drain from her face. Earth hadn't lost its place in the Alliance. It was never meant to survive. Meeting of liars, the video logs attached to the file made things worse. In one, Trell Lord Commander, Varun leaned forward, speaking to his fellow species leaders. "The humans are clever, too clever. Our emotions make them dangerous. They adapt. If we wait, they'll lead everything within a century." "They were useful," said a Xanthari diplomat, "but now they must be contained. We'll make it look like an accident," the Elysian counselor added. "Collapse their colonies, turn their own allies against them. And if that fails well, we know where their homeworld is." And then they all laughed, like friends sharing a joke. Miran didn't speak. She just watched. Her fists clenched. Her crew was silent behind her, the signal that shouldn't be there just as Marin began to copy the files. The outpost's old communication panel buzzed. "Unknown vessel approaching," her XO Kylan said. "One signature civilian ship. No weapons." The outpost was off the grid. No one should know they were here. Track it, she ordered. The ship landed outside, small, battered, old. Shh. Someone stepped out in a long coat, helmet on, holding a data case. Marin met them at the hatch with her weapon drawn. Identify yourself. The helmet hissed, then opened. It was a woman, human eyes, sharp. Voice calm, I'm Commander Vale. Former intelligence, I was told to come here if everything collapsed. Marin narrowed her eyes. Who told you? Vale held up the case. Your brother. The truth. From the dead, Marin stared at the name printed on the case. LT. Commander Iran Moran, Sionefidi and TL Shea. Took a step back. Her brother had died 7 years ago, saving an alien convoy from pirates. That's what the report said. That's what she believed. But now, he knew the truth, Vale said quietly. He saw it happening. The treaty, the plans. He tried to warn Earth's command, but they buried him and the evidence. Marin opened the case. Inside were data chips, voice logs, and something else. A letter. Sis, if you're reading this, the war has already started. Don't trust the Alliance. Don't trust our chain of command. You'll know what to do. Just don't forget who we are. Burn them. Marin didn't cry. She just nodded once. Ghosts in command back on the ship, Marin gathered her senior officers. Vale stood with them now, feeding new files into the ship's system. Every screen displayed a part of the plan. Economic sabotage. Food shortages, delayed medical aid to human colonies, broken communication relays. It had all been done slowly, quietly, so humanity wouldn't notice. Earth's leadership didn't believe us, Vale explained. Or worse, some were part of it, paid to look away. We've been fighting a war that started long before the first shots were fired, Kylan growled, and now we're alone. No, Marin said. We're free. Warning the colonies, the Solar Wrath jumped across 3 sectors that day. It reached out to human colonies, listening posts, mining stations, every voice Earth still had out in the stars. Marin sent a message on a private military channel, old code only trusted captains would remember. The Alliance is no longer ours. Project Dimming is real. If you want proof, come to the Dark Moon at these coordinates. Bring only those you trust, and be ready to strike. This is not a drill. Then she cut the connection. One by one replies came in. Understood. Coordinates received. For Earth, spark in the dark, as the Solar Wrath prepared to leave Outpost Eco 7, a single enemy scout ship appeared on sensors. Trail design. Fast. Small. Armed. It wasn't broadcasting anything. It had come for the outpost. For the files. Too late, Marin gave the order. Engage. In less than 20 seconds, the enemy ship was reduced to floating shards. No escape pod. No signal. Only wreckage. We need to move, Kylan said. They'll send more. Marin nodded. We'll be ready. And this time, she didn't just mean her ship. She meant everyone who had been betrayed. The quiet message that changed everything as. The Solar Wrath vanished into warp. Its last action was sending one more silent message across human territory. It was just one line, no command code, no threats, just a warning written in plain Terran standard. The treaty was signed with our blood. Now we're writing the next chapter. Across dozens of planets, old captains stared at their screens. They understood the Alliance was over, and something new had begun. The encrypted message was short. Just 2 words. But it sent a shock through the bridge of the Solar Wrath. They know. Captain Marin stared at the screen, her jaw tightening. The message came from one of their trusted colonies, New Valisa, peaceful farming world near the border of Alliance space. The only people there were human settlers and one small Earth defense post. New. Valis had no reason to lie. Marin turned to Commander Vale. You said only a few knew about Project Dimming? Vale nodded slowly. Those I trusted. Some old cells. A few deep cover agents. That's it. Then someone on our side is feeding the enemy, Marin said. Kylan, her XO, looked furious. Spy, still active. On our command channel. And suddenly, everyone on the ship realized something terrible terrifying. The enemy wasn't out there. They were already inside. The message from a dying world hours later. A second message arrived. This time, it wasn't coded. It wasn't calm. It was a live broadcast from Captain Brell, a fellow Terran fleet officer stationed at New Valis. To any Terran ship receiving this New Valis is under attack, Alliance gunships trill pattern. They used human access codes to bypass shields. We've been static. They're not even warning civilians. It's full eradication. Someone gave them everything. You were right, Marin. They're coming for all of us. Then the feed cut off. No explosion. No scream, just silence. New. Valis was gone, and Earth had just lost another colony. From war. From betrayal. A ship in the dark Marin didn't sleep that night. She sat alone in the observation chamber, staring at the stars as her ship drifted between jumps. She thought about her brother. She thought about the treaty. And she thought about the last words of a dead captain. Someone gave them everything. Spy in Earth's command structure meant every plan, every move. Every colony relocation was at risk. But then Vale appeared with news. I think I found something, she said, dropping a datapad onto the table. A leak, small, deep, hidden. In a civilian channel? Someone is transmitting coded signals to a location in the Xanthari core. Marin read it, then froze. It's coming from Central Terran Command. The general with too many secrets, General Calderon, was a war hero. One of Earth's oldest military leaders, known for holding the Andromeda Corridor during the early Alliance wars. He now led Earth's Strategic Operations Council, commanding fleets from his high-orbit fortress station above Mars. He also sent weekly updates to the Alliance. Officially, they were for peacekeeping, but unofficially. His signature appears in 3 of the early dimming documents, Vale said, barely visible. He must have authorized the data sharing, possibly under pressure, or maybe not. Maren didn't hesitate. Then we need to talk to him, Kylan. Frowned. Talk? You mean go to him? That station's locked tighter than a black hole. Moran's voice was cold. Then we'll burn our way in. Boarding Mars High Command, the Solar Wrath arrived above Mars without a proper clearance code, which was exactly the plan. Within minutes, they were intercepted. Solar Wrath, stand down. You are violating restricted airspace. Marin opened the channel. Let me speak to General Calderon. The officer paused. Captain Marin, you are under investigation for treason. Surrender your vessel. Marin cut the feed, then gave the order. Cut there comes. Launch EMP bursts. Board the station. Shock teams flew from the Solar Wrath's belly, piercing the station's outer ring with magnetic locks. Within moments, they were inside, guns raised, smoke bombs deployed, resistance crushed. Marin led the charge. She was going to find Calderon and ask him to his face. The face of betrayal. She found him in his private office, old.com, hands folded. Behind his back, he didn't flinch as her soldiers aimed rifles. So, Calderon said, this is how the new Earth fights its wars. Guns pointed at its own leaders. Moran stepped forward. You sold us out. He said nothing. She tossed a datapad onto his desk. It played the video of Project Dimming, the alien leaders, the hidden treaty, the signed orders. Calderon just sighed. I tried to avoid war. The moment Earth joined the Alliance, the writing was on the wall. We were never meant to win, only to serve. I tried to delay the fall, not cause it. Thought you gave them our colonies. I gave them time to avoid full extermination. I thought a slow death was better than fire.
Parents.
Eyes burned with fury. We'll choose fire. The spy revealed. Vale searched Calderon's systems, while soldiers secured the station. What she found made everyone's blood run cold. A real-time signal stream. Live tracking of Terran fleets. Human encryption broken, handed directly to the Trell, and then one final shock. Calderon wasn't the only one. 3 more high-ranking Earth officers were involved, still active, still sending information, and they weren't alone. A 4th signal was coming from the Terran. Colony of Bright Forge, home to the last human superweapon project. If the enemy got that, we can't stop them all, Vale said. Not in time. We don't have to, Marin replied. We just need to strike first. The new orders. Marin turned to Kylan, her voice steel. Get the fleet ready. Send word to every loyal captain. Cut ties with command? We move now? To where? He asked. She looked out the window at the stars. To Brightforge. We protect what's left. We bury the spies. We start the fire. And Calderon. Rand turned back, eyes hard. Put him in the brig. The people will judge him. If there's anything left of the law when this is over. Then she looked. At her crew? Today we stop being defenders. Today we become hunters. Brightforge wasn't just another colony. It was Earth's last true weapon, lab deep inside a hollowed-out moon. It's hidden from the galaxy. And shielded with tech even the Trowel feared, no maps showed its location. No. Visitors came without military code-level clearance. Inside that moon, humanity had built Project THOR prototype, capable of destroying a capital ship with a single strike. And now, the spy had revealed its position. Captain Marin stood on the bridge of the Solar Wrath, eyes locked on the stars ahead. Vale's voice was calm but tense. Enemy fleet incoming. Multiple warp signatures. Less than 4 hours out. Kylan stepped beside her. We're outnumbered. We won't win if they get there first. Marin didn't blink. Then we don't let them arrive. The heart of Earth's revenge, the corridors of Brightforge were narrow and dark, reinforced with lead and neutron mesh. Armed guards patrolled every turn. Machines hummed beneath the floors. Giant armored doors kept secrets sealed behind layers of protection. Dr. Han Lyra, the lead scientist, met Marin as she landed. He didn't smile. You weren't supposed to come back. Marin held out the tablet. They're coming. You know why? Han scanned the data. His face went pale. The Alliance found us already. I told Central to shut off the relay beacons months ago. They didn't, she said. We did. His voice dropped. Is Thor ready? Marin looked him in the eye. It has to be. The power of THOR Project THOR was never meant to be used. It was built after the Xanthus crisis, when Earth realized no peace could last forever. A weapon that used graviton distortion to crush ships from light years away. It didn't fire beams. It didn't launch missiles. It simply collapsed targets as if a black hole snapped its fingers. But it wasn't finished. The prototype works, Han said. But we only have one full shot. After that, the core will collapse, and it'll take Brightforge with it. Marin didn't hesitate. Then make it count. The fleet that followed fire from deep space, Earth's loyalist fleet, began to gather. Small destroyers, heavy cruisers, a few stolen support ships, outgunned, underpowered, but ready to fight. The Solar Wrath led the pack. Behind her, 19 ships ahead of her. Over 40 enemy vessels, the incoming Alliance fleetral warships, Xanthari dreadnoughts, and even Elysian stealth scouts moved in perfect formation. Their target, Brightforge, and at their head was a name Marin had once trusted, Fleet Marshal Erix Talvin, the alien commander who once stood side by side with Earth during the siege of Daleks Prime, now came to erase what was left of humanity's strength. The betrayer's voice, just as both fleets neared the moon, a message broke through. It was Erix. His voice filled the Solar Wrath's command deck. Captain Marin, stand down. Brightforge violates the treaty. Earth's survival depends on surrender. You are in possession of illegal weapons. This is your only warning. Marin responded without hesitation. You broke the treaty when you signed it in blood. You think you've already won, but you forgot who we are. Silence. Then Erix responded quietly. So be it. The battle began. A sky on fire, the first blasts lit up the moon's orbit like a dying star. The Solar Wrath weaved between trail laser bursts, unleashing rail cannon fire with every pass. Marin barked orders. Kylan rerouted shields. Drones exploded. Engines flared. One by one, Earth's ships fell. But they didn't go quietly. The Iron Veil rammed an enemy carrier and detonated its reactor. The Talon's Edge took 3 hits, then manually fired its last torpedoes into a dreadnought's core. The sky burned red dot inside Brightforge. THOR's systems powered up. Target lock acquired, Dr. Hahn said. Give me the lead ship. Marin replied. The Solar Wrath's engines screamed. They would hold the line until the last second. Thor fires Vale. Watched from a sealed chamber inside Brightforge as Thor's weapon core aligned. The target, Eric's Talvani's flagship, kilometer-long battleship with 10,000 crew and enough firepower to level a continent. Han whispered, "Fire in 3, 2. Then Thor fired. There was no light. No sound, no explosion, just a ripple in space. A distortion, and then nothing. Eric's ship vanished, crushed, erased. Even the stars behind it bent and flickered. The enemy fleet broke, formation confused, shaken, and for the first time in years, frayed. The order to burn Meran seized the moment. Broadcast to all Terran ships. Target their engines. Leave no survivors. Earth's fleet moved like a pack of wolves, now smaller, bleeding but fast and furious. One by one, they tore into the enemy vessels. Disabled them, crippled them, destroyed them, the Alliance, shocked by Thor's power and their own overconfidence. Retreated. 5 ships escaped. The rest in the space around Brightforge was silent again. But that silence was temporary. The final protocol inside Brightforge. Dr. Hahn collapsed in exhaustion. THOR's core began to destabilize. Systems overheated. He looked at Marin. We have to shut it down or it'll trigger a singularity. Marin nodded, then shut it down. Can't, he whispered. Not remotely. Someone has to go in manually. Silence then. Vale stepped forward. I'll do it. Marin grabbed her arm. You've done enough. Vale looked at her. Can't win this war without the truth I carry. But you'll lose it without this place. Let me end this one right. Shh. No more words. She disappeared down the corridor. 3 minutes later, Thor powered down forever. A new beginning. Bregturg was saved. The fleet survived. Thor was gone, but its one shot had done more than kill a flagship. It had changed the rules. No longer was Earth running or hiding now. The galaxy had seen what humans were truly capable of, and from dozens of fringe systems, new allies, forgotten Terran colonies, rogue AI groups, even sympathetic alien defectors started sending messages. They didn't ask for orders. They asked for targets. The message they didn't expect: the Galactic Council met in orbit above the shattered world of Elvari Prime. Deep in Alliance space. 12 species stood around a golden table. Leaders, admirals, high envoys, all staring at the same glowing screed. A human face appeared. Cold.com. It was Captain Marin. You expected us to break. You expected us to kneel. But Earth has changed. Behind her, wreckage flowed, a doll that remained of the Alliance's assault fleet. Marin leaned forward. You destroyed our trust. You killed our people. You broke the treaty. And now, her eyes hardened. Now, we're coming for everything you ever built. The message ended. And for the first time in a century, the Galactic Council chose silence. The reaction from the stars, the Trell homeworld, went on full lockdown. The Xanthari recalled every scout ship from Terran space, and the Elysians those. Cold, logic-driven beings filed a motion to reclassify humanity from developing ally to unpredictable threat. But it was too late. Earth's broadcast had already gone viral. Across border worlds, backwater colonies, old Earth settlements. Even inside Alliance-controlled zones, humans were rising. We're not victims anymore, one rebel said on an open channel. We're hunters now. Earth's plan for retaliation back aboard the Solar Wrath. Captain Marin gathered her new war council. Around her stood Kylan. Vale returned from Brightforge, Dr. Hahn, and 3 new faces. Commander Reese, leader of a rogue Earth fleet once believed destroyed. Aaron Vask, a Martian-born tactician who hacked her way out of an Alliance prison. And Jan Otel, a defector from the Xanthari military. For targets, Marin said. For symbols of their arrogance, she pointed to a galactic map. Red circles glowed. It's the Starforge above Hollies. The AI control nexus of EOS Station, Council Spire on Tyrex, and the communication ring of Varela. These aren't just targets, she added. These are foundations of the Alliance. Kylan nodded. We break these. We break their control. Strike 1. The star for Jehalis. It was a star with 6 artificial rings each, producing warships for the Treld. No one had ever breached it. No one had ever tried. Until now, the Solar Wrath led a strike team of 6 Terran vessels through a hidden wormline mapped long ago by Martian traders. Brought them right to the outer edge of the forge. Marin's orders were simple. Don't take it. Destroy it. Dr. Hahn, now leading field engineering, uploaded virus bombs into the ring's cooling system. Reactor temperatures surged. Alliance alarms flared. Too late. As Earth's ships fled through plasma storms, the Holly's forge lit up the void. A 1,000-year-old war machine exploded into stardust. Strike 2. The AI control. Nexus, the AI control. Nexus on EOS station monitored millions of systems' automated patrols. Border defenses, even population scans. Earth needed chaos, so they hacked it. With help from Aaron Vask and former Alliance coder drones, they injected a false update into the system. The result: every Alliance drone across 300 light-years turned on each other. Mining rigs attacked patrol ships. Cargo haulers dropped into stars. Central Fleet Guard ship activated its own self-destruct, thinking it had been compromised. In less than 2 hours, the entire AI network collapsed. The Council screamed sabotage, but Marin's crew only smiled. Strike 3. The Council Spire, the spire on Tyrex, wasn't just a political center. It was a monument to the Alliance's ego. Thousands of statues. Gold-plated arches. Celebration halls lined with the names of every species except humans. So, Earth erased it. A small team led by Janotel infiltrated the planet during a ceremonial session. He once stood beside the very guards who now tried to stop him. He didn't hesitate. The bomb was quiet. Precise. Built using old Earth nanite tech. When it went off, it didn't explode. It unraveled the metal and stone, rewriting matter at the molecular level. The spire turned to ash. In under 11 minutes, the galaxy watched. It collapsed live. Strike 4. The Varela ring. Varela's ring controlled the Alliance's long-range communications. Destroying it would cut off every command ship from their central hub. But this strike wouldn't be done in secret. Marin wanted them to see it coming. She sent one message, across the stars. When this ring falls, it means only one thing: Earth is no longer part of your system. Then she launched the full force of a rebel fleet. 50 ships. Dozens of stealth drones. 2 recovered war hulks from Earth's lost colonies. The Varela ring defenders fought back with everything. But it wasn't enough. One by one, the ring's towers crumbled. The final tower fell with a single line broadcast from the Solar Wrath. You thought we'd beg? You thought wrong? The galaxy in freefall, with their war factories, AI networks, political seat, and Cum's ring destroyed, the Alliance was in chaos. Fleets retreated. Commanders refused orders. Border worlds declared neutrality. I'm sure who would win. For the first time since the Council's formation, there was no order in Earth. Earth stood stronger than ever. Marin watched the reports roll in. Each ping on her screen meant another piece of the old system breaking. Kylan asked quietly, "What now?" Marin's answer was firm. "We keep going. We burn down everything they ever built until they understand that mercy was their last chance." The broadcast of lies. The screen flickered. A new emergency broadcast echoed across the galaxy. A well-dressed Elysian spoke from the glowing hall of the Emergency Council. His eyes were cold, his voice sharp. The humans had become a threat to all life. They destroyed the Starforge, collapsed the AI Nexus, vaporized our Council spire, and crippled our communications ring. He paused, letting the silence burn. They are not defenders. They are not victims. They are terrorists. And if we do not act now, we may all burn. The screen went dark. 10 minutes later, over 50 systems declared Earth an enemy of peace. Inside, the War Room Moran stood at the center of the Solar Wrath's War Room. The walls displayed real-time Chaos Alliance ships turning on each other. Worlds in full blackout, and messages from every edge of the galaxy. She didn't look surprised. They finally said it. Kylan frowned. Terrorists. That's the label they've chosen, Dr. Han scoffed. They call us dangerous. But they started this by killing our diplomats and betraying the peace they wrote. Vale leaned forward. So what now? Moran turned, eyes blazing. We show them what true terror looks like. Earth's true history leaks across the stars. Old records suddenly went public. A data blast from an unknown Terran source exposed classified Alliance actions. The massacre of New Thesha. Where? An Alliance strike force wiped out an unarmed Terran research colony and blamed it on pirates. The descent orders, proving they used human populations to test gravity weapons. The sealed treaty clauses, showing Earth was never given equal status only. Monitored, restricted, and lied to. Billions saw the truth. On dozens of alien worlds. Citizens began to question the Council, and on some, they started to resist. The broken chain in a distant system called Raxor Delta. An Alliance garrison received orders to fire on a human freighter convoy. They refused. Commander Jayla, a Xanthari officer, stood before her crew and said, "I've read the leaked files. I will not kill for their lies." Her own warship turned on her. She disabled it and sent a message. "We're no longer part of the Council. We stand with Earth." It wasn't the only break by the end of the day. 11 more units defected. The chain of control was fracturing fast. Earth sends a response. Moran recorded a single message. No fanfare, no threats, just her voice, calm and honest. "We didn't want war. We didn't start it. But if you label us terrorists for defending ourselves, then maybe you never knew who we were to begin with." She raised her eyes to the camera. "We gave peace. You gave betrayal. Now, we give you a choice. Stand aside, ... or stand in the fire." The message ended. It was translated into 37 languages. Within a cycle, it became the most watched broadcast in galactic history. The tipping point, the Council was furious, but they were losing control. The Trell High. His command demanded a full assault on Earth. The Xanthari fleet threatened to withdraw. From the war entirely, the Elysians argued for containment, not destruction. The Council chamber shook with arguments, but no decision came. Outside the chamber, rebellion spread. Entire trade routes collapsed. Supply convoys vanished. Old Earth colonies declared their return to Terran law. The fire was everywhere now, the first major victory while chaos distracted the Alliance. Earth made its boldest move yet, in a deep sector called Ash's Belt. The Alliance had a secret shipyard, Arcturus Ring. Where prototype vessels were built for their elite fleet, it was thought to be unreachable. But Marin had a key. Jan Hotel. The defected Xanthari officer had once trained there. He led a shadow team through a black zone using old security patterns. And backdoor codes? They didn't seize the ring. They planted controlled fusion mines along its spine at 0400 system time. Arcturus's ring became a dying star. 200 enemy ships gone. 3 new prototypes vaporized. The message was clear. Your future fleet won't save you. The divide deepens in Alliance space. Tensions exploded. On the planet Nalira, humans were arrested and paraded in chains. In return, rebel ships freed. An entire detention colony without killing a single guardian broadcasted live. Some called them monsters. Others called them liberators. A famous alien journalist from the Velnari Republic said, "What the Council calls terrorism, others now call justice." The word spread faster than war ever could. A moment of peace in the fireback aboard the Solar Wrath. Moran stood alone in the observation deck. The stars stretched out before her, quiet for once. Vale entered, soft steps. Echoing, "We're winning." Marin shook her head. "No, we're surviving. There's a difference." Vale looked at her. "Would you stop? ... if they apologized?" Marin stared into the void. "I'd stop burning down their empire. Never forget what they did to us." Behind them, Earth's fleet grew, and soon the final blow would be planned. A graveyard in orbit, the solar wrath drifted above Velker Prime, once an Alliance jewel. Now it was just debris. Clouds of twisted steel, broken statues, floating towers all shattered below. The surface burned. Cities turned to ash, factories melted. The orbital defense grid ripped apart by Earth's vengeful fire. Captain Marone stood on the bridge, silent. Kylan stepped beside her, whispering, that was their cultural capital. Marin didn't blink. Now it's a warning. Behind them, screens showed the Galactic Council's last fleet preparing for one final counterattack. The galaxy had chosen sides. This was the endgame, the battle that changed everything a week earlier. Velker Prime was still a proud world. It had hosted the core Flame Fleet, the oldest Alliance armada. 20 capital ships, 2 dreadnoughts, 100 fighter wings. But Earth didn't attack head-on. They did what humans always did best. They adapted. Marin's War Council planned. Kea, trap using ghost ships, automated decoys loaded with stealth. Mines as the core Flame Fleet moved to intercept what they thought were real Terran vessels. Their sensors went dark. Then came the EMP burst. Then came the silence. Then came the real strike. Earth's fleet tore through them like wildfire. Out of 122 enemy ships, only 3 escaped. Across the stars, fires burned in the following days. Other Terran victories ignited rebellion. On Moralen 4, a Council command base fell without a single shot. Its soldiers had abandoned it after receiving Earth's offer. Leave now or vanish with the old world. In the Kelsari Belt, a human-born pirate lord swore loyalty to Earth and gave them control of the entire smuggler trade. On Junta's Reach, alien refugees who once feared Earth now fought beside Terran. Marines carving the Council's banners off the walls. The flames weren't just physical, they were ideological. People everywhere whispered it now. Maybe the humans are right. The Council prepares its final move on a massive space station orbiting the gas giant Veridon. The fractured Galactic Council gathered for what they called the last directive. The room was dim, tense, angry. The Trell delegate shouted, "You fools, let them reach our core systems. Their fire spreads faster than plague." The Elysians demanded a retreat, calling Earth's momentum unstoppable. But one voice, cold, heavy, cut through them all. High Strategist Kaler, the last surviving admiral of the original Council fleet. "We burned them first. Every last one." He activated a holomap, showed Earth, Luna, Mars, the Belt, every human system. "We send the Doombringers." Gasps. Silence. The Doombringers were not just warships. They were world enders. Weapons once banned by every species, even the Council. But now, nothing was off the table. Earth's last defense in Earth orbit. The mood was grim. Moran had received the intercepted signal. The Doombringers were moving. No fleet could stop them. No guns could reach them in time. So Earth did the unthinkably, sent out a call to every colony. Every rebel world, every sympathetic alien system. If you've ever known our kindness, if we ever gave you shelter, we ask you now, stand with us one last time. 4 or 5 hours, no one replied. Then one ping. Then another. Then dozens. Old freighter pilots, former Council officers, even Velneri Storm Dash ships. They all sent one message. We don't fight for Earth. We fight for truth. The battle at Terran Gate. The Doombringers arrived just outside Terran Gate, a fortified outpost near the Kuiper Line. Marin stood on the bridge, watching them. 5 black ships, each the size of a small moon, designed to erase planets. Beside the solar wrath, Earth's last defenders gathered. Hundreds of ships, human and alien, flying together under a single banner. It wasn't enough, but it would have to be. The moment the first Doombringer charged its core, Marin gave the order. Full assault. Don't let them reach Earth, even if we burn with them. The sky exploded into chaos. A new kind of fire. It wasn't strength that saved them. It was sacrifice. A Velnari cruiser rammed into one Doombringer's main cannon, destroying both. A Terran stealth drone infiltrated another and detonated its antimatter reserves. Dr. Hahn, aboard a science vessel, unleashed a new kind of EMP-1 that burned through quantum AI cores and froze to Doombringer's mid-charge. Still, last one pushed forward. Its weapon powered up. It aimed directly at Earth, and just as it fired, the Solar Wrath dove into the beam's path. Light and silence. Beam hit the Solar Wrath broadside. Everyone thought it was gone, but behind the wreckage, something emerged. Second ship, hidden under cloak, powered by Earth's last experimental core, the Lazarus Drive. The clone ship launched its own beam-pure gravity fold, akin to the Doombringer's core. A chain reaction began. Within seconds, the last Doombringer folded in on itself, sucked into a micro-black hole. The battle was over. The gate held. Earth survived. The ashes, and what follows hours. Later, the battlefield cooled. Wreckage floated in silence. Ships drifted with no power. Fire dimmed. But in that silence, something louder than any blast echoed through every channel. A message from Captain Marin, barely alive, blood on her face. To those who called us terrorists, look around. We didn't destroy the galaxy. Stopped the ones who would. She coughed, smiled faintly. And now, your empire lies in ashes, the same way you left us. As she looked into the camera one last time, we will build from this fire, and this time, we build without you. High above a shattered world once called Zereth Prime, the remains of the Galactic Council float in silence. Where once stood the tallest spire in the galaxy, there is only dust. Where dignitaries once argued over peace and power, there is only open sky and silence. In orbit, a recording plays on every frequency. It loops endlessly. This was not war. It was reckoning. The Council doesn't speak anymore. Can't. Earth didn't just survive. It made the galaxy remember. 1 month after the final blow, the Solar Wrath limped home under heavy escort. Its hull was scorched. Entire decks missing. Most of the crew injured. But it returned. Marin lay in the medbay, tubes running into her arms, burns down her right side. But her eyes were sharp, awake, watching. Vale entered, placing a small device. Beside her, it's done. They signed the surrender. Marin turned her head slowly. All of them. He nodded. What's left of them, and Earth, still here. Stronger than ever. She smiled through the pain. Then let's show them what rebuilding on our terms looks like. The New Order Earth didn't take territory. It didn't claim planets. It did something worse. It released every document the Alliance had ever hidden about wars. Genocide, corruption, and lies. Every dark secret made public. The people of the galaxy turned on their former rulers. Uprisings flared. The Velnari Republic overthrew its puppet leaders and built a new council with human observers. The Xanthari worlds declared an alliance with Earth, calling it a pact built from ashes. Even the Trell, once bitter enemies, sent reparations and asked to learn Terran diplomacy. But Earth refused the title of ruler instead. It built the unified Flame Charter, a code of rights, laws, and justice, and it offered every species a seat, not under Earth, beside Earth. One final enemy remains. But peace never comes without a shadow. One fleet, the Silent Edge Armodaruth, to surrender. Made of rogue admirals, hidden weapons labs, warlords who believed the Alliance would rise again. They attacked supply lines, sabotaged colonies, tried to reignite the war. Their flagship, the Red Halos, a stealth dreadnought that had never lost a battle. It moved through deep space, like a phantom, until it made a mistake. It intercepted a Terran hospital ship. It had killed 2,000 civilians, and Earth finally said, "No more." Earth's answer, Project Revenant from a hidden orbital. Forge above Pluto, a new ship launched, Project Revenant, unlike anything before it. Built from stolen Alliance tech, it's powered by Earth's Lazarus Drive, armed with experimental voidfold weapons. controlled by a neural link tied to Captain Marin herself. She wasn't healed. She was changed. The moment she stepped onto the Revenant, every system recognized her as the will of Earth. The final hunt. The hunt for the Red Halos lasted 9 days. Across asteroid fields, lack zones, quantum fog regions, the Revenant chased it like a predator born in silence. On day 9, deep inside the shadow fold, they found it. The two ships clashed in darkness silent. Brutal, surgical. The Red Halos fired everything. Revenant dodged reality. It split space, peered behind its target and fired one clean shot right through the enemy bridge. On every Terran screen, the final message was broadcast from Marin's voice. To the last traitors of peace, this galaxy is no longer yours. The galaxy reacts. The death of the Red Halos became legend. Poems were written, statues raised. In marketplaces and schools, children repeated the words of Earth's final broadcast. We do not kneel. We do not forget. Do not wait for justice. We deliver it. Former enemies now called Earth the flame that liberated the stars. But Earth didn't celebrate with parades. It got to work. Rebuilding Earth poured resources into rebuilding what the Alliance had crushed. Terraforming forgotten colonies. Reopening trade lanes fairly. Training soldiers as diplomats. Healing the wounded friend and former foe alike. Dr. Han created the Galactic Memory Vault, open-source database to preserve every truth of the war so no one could ever lie about it again, even Vale. Once a saboteur, now led peace negotiations between rival alien empires and Marin. She stayed aboard the Revenant, watching the stars waiting. Legacy 10 years later. A group of alien historians visited Earth. They stood on the grass where the original Alliance ambassador was shot. They placed flowers. One turned to their Gita, young human girl named Ari. Tell us, how did your people survive when so many others fell? Ari smiled softly. We didn't just survive. We made them wish they had never crossed us. Final scene above Earth. The Revenant floats in low orbit, still silent, still armed. Inside Marinota, Greyer watches the stars. Behind her, a message blinks on a screen. New transmission received. Unknown origin. Language not recognized. Mare leans forward, smiling. Let's see what the next mistake looks like. Screen fades to black. The stars burn on.